Opening day, 1978. With a completely new coaching staff and a tough 8-game schedule, many wondered if the Cardinals could equal their shining past performance. Many felt that the outcome of this game with the rival Miami Redskins would determine the champions of the Mid-American Conference. Just prior to the opening kickoff, head coach Dwight Wallace reflects.
I think the big key today is going to be soundness. The team that can go out there and move the ball with no mistakes is going to be the team that will come out ahead. So our biggest concern is, yes, we want to be able to throw, we want to be able to option and run a good power game, but the big key is going to be how sound can we play. We really feel that there's no question that we can play with a lot of people, but just how good we are, where we stand as far as the conference race, we still don't know. We got the bumps and bruises that everyone has, but you know, if you get the contact out of this sport, then I think you got a pretty good game. So we know we're going to go into a lot of games with guys bumped up, and those are things we just have to deal with. That's part of the ball game. We're not going to cry about it. We know that there are a few people maybe could be a little bit stronger, but overall we think we're going in pretty healthy. We know that this year we have to play 8 conference games, and it'll be tough. So we've got to go in very soundly. We've got to be ready to deal with adversity, and we'll be challenged this season. But no question about it. This is a big ball game. We'd sure like to get off to a good step.
It's opening day at the Ball State Stadium when the fired-up Ball State football Cardinals take the field. On the third play of the game, Redskin back Greg Jones fumbles the ball in the Miami 16, and John D. Hoke recovering. Ball State takes the opportunity, and 4 plays later, quarterback Dave Wilson carries the ball over the center and in for the score. Mark O'Connell adds the extra point, and with less than 3 minutes gone, Ball State leads Miami 7-0. Later in the period, Miami bounces back as quarterback Larry Fortner finds Angelo over the middle for a 20-yard pickup. Four plays later, Hunter sweeps in from the left for the score. And with the extra point, Miami ties the score 7-7. Then seconds later, with the ball resting on the Ball State 30-yard line, Gary Ackland burst up the middle for an 11-yard gain. And then as time runs out in the quarter, Dave Wilson goes back for the pass and finds premier receiver Rick Morrison open deep in Miami territory. Morrison fights his way into the end zone for the Cardinals' second score of the quarter. As the second quarter opens, Fortner once again connects to Angelo on the flat for a first down. On the move this time, Fortner throws to Worf, who takes the ball all the way down to the 7-yard line for the Redskins. Where 3 plays later, Fortner carries into the end zone. And with the extra point, Miami once again has tied the score. Dave Wilson then begins an aerial attack all his own, hitting Ray Hinton at midfield for a big 20-yard gain. Then he goes back to pass to Rick Morrison for another 11-yard pickup for the Ball State Cardinals. Later on 4th and 7 at Miami's 27-yard line, Wilson strikes again. This time with a draw pass to Kenny Curran, who takes it all the way to the Redskin 9-yard line. Wilson connects to Tim Clary in the end zone, and with O'Connell's PAT, the Cardinals lead the Redskins 21-14. After an impressive effort by the defense, the offense resumes their assault, this time with Kenny Curran fighting his way for an 11-yard pickup for Ball State. Later on 3rd and 6, Wilson is dropped for a loss, and that sets up a Mark O'Connell field goal. The ball is placed down, the kick is up, and the ball hits the crossbar of the goalpost and bounces over for the field goal. And a halftime score, Ball State 24, Miami 14. Third quarter play begins with a bang as Ken Curran takes the kickoff at the 3-yard line and works his way up to the Ball State 26. Moments later, Ken Curran's brother Archie takes a handoff and breaks open a 64-yard run for the Cardinals. Kenny Curran then comes back to take a Dave Wilson pass into the end zone for another Ball State touchdown. In the fourth quarter, Miami receives a golden opportunity as Mark O'Connell fakes a punt and throws an incompleted pass to Casey. But as the Miami quarterback rolls out to the right, he is hit so hard that he loses the ball. Larry Williams of the Cardinals recovering the fumble. Later, Mark O'Connell's punt is taken by Springs on the Redskin 18-yard line, suddenly losing the handle on the ball, and Cardinal Greg Newberg gets it back for the Ball State Cardinals. On the next play from scrimmage, Dave Wilson throws incomplete to Rick Morrison in the end zone. But wait, Miami is called for pass interference, and suddenly the Cardinals have the ball at the 1-foot line. And Gary Ackland dives over the top for the score, and O'Connell's 5th PAT of the game makes it Ball State 38, Miami 14. Late in the fourth quarter, Miami's final scoring hope is thwarted as John D. Hoke steals a Fortner pass at the Ball State 10-yard line. The final score, the Cardinals of Ball State 38, the Redskins of Miami 14.
The game wasn't decided at any special play or at any time. After the final buzzer was the time we knew it was won. We kept banging them and banging them and banging them until the final gun. Ever since the seniors now that are here have been here, that's all we've heard the whole time we were here is how good Miami is, how good Miami's this and that. We're just preparing for them and gunning for them, waiting to get them at home at our place because we played them twice before on their field and for a long time. And I think that everyone just made up their minds, and the coaches were very instrumental in that, in getting us fired up when we went out. And we were confident when we went out there, and we just took it to them. They had a proven quarterback. He was a great quarterback, a great tight end, and we took their game away defensively, and then our offense just drove it down their throats, and that's the way it was.
In 1978, the Ball State-Toledo game will certainly stand out as the first in a long line of excellent defensive football games. Early in the first quarter, the offense would lose the ball twice on turnovers deep in Ball State territory. And each time, the Cardinal Crush defense would come on and smother the Toledo drives, forcing Toledo's kicker, Dave Ridgway, to miss 2 field goals from inside the 20-yard line and to bring about their first shutout of the season. Late in the first quarter, the offense begins to move as Dave Wilson finds Rick Morrison at the Toledo 13-yard line. And 2 plays later, Lenny Werner fights his way into the end zone. Mark O'Connell's kick adds the extra point, and the Ball State Cardinals lead 7-0. On the first play of the second quarter, Tim Clary takes a Dave Wilson pass down to the Toledo 9-yard line, but after 3 plays, the Cardinals are unable to score and settle for a 12-yard Mark O'Connell field goal. On their next possession, the Toledo offense once again finds itself up against an immovable Ball State defense. And on 3rd and 15, Dave Matzel picks off another rocket pass. Wilson finds Morrison deep in Toledo territory on the next play. Once again, have to settle for a Mark O'Connell field goal. At the half, the score remains Ball State Cardinals 13, Toledo Rockets nothing. As Toledo starts to move the ball early in the third quarter, the defense once again rises to the occasion, dropping the Rocket quarterback for a total of 20 yards on 2 consecutive plays. Back with the ball on offense, the Cardinals strike again. Archie Curran takes a Dave Wilson pass down to the Toledo 6-yard line. And 4 plays later, Lenny Werner takes it in for the second Ball State touchdown, which makes the score 19-0. In the fourth quarter, the Ball State TNT defense exploded again and again, immobilizing the Golden Flashes' attack and completing the 19-0 shutout.
The Toledo game was a key for our defense because in the first 2 times that we had the ball, we fumbled, and that was on our 20-yard line both times. Defense had to come in and hold them, and they only got 3 points out of it. So we thought that right there was a big key for our defense, and it really got us going, and I think it helped us out for the rest of the year too.
I would say the difference was our experience against their youth. They started about 8 or 9 freshmen that game. I think we maybe played 2 at the most, and no freshmen started for Ball State this year. So I think it was just a matter of our experience on the playing field that won out.
I'll tell you, the big thing about that is pride. If you don't want them to score, you won't let them score. You work on it in practice, you drill on it. We have so much goal line scrimmages and just practice real hard on the goal line. And when you get in the game, you want that to work for you. You work hard in practice, you want to use it in the game, and that's what we did.
Central Michigan proved to be a pivotal game for the offense and a key game in the MAC title championship. From the start, the Cardinal offense showed its domination. Here on the first play of the game, Wilson completes a long pass to Rick Morrison for a big 35-yard gain. On this first set of downs, they had to settle for a field goal, but it was apparent the Cardinals would be hard to stop. After 4 plays, Central gave up the ball to the relentless Ball State defense, and Wilson once again went long, this time to Tim Clary. 3 plays later, Wilson passes to Hinton for the score, and O'Connell's point after makes it 10-0. Once again, Central Michigan gives up the ball after 4 plays, and once again, Ball State scores. This time on the first play from scrimmage with a pass from Wilson to Morrison into the end zone. Ball State 17, Central Michigan nothing. The next drive came in the third quarter as Wilson passes to Clary for 14 yards and then goes long to Hinton for a gain of 39 yards. Five plays later, Gary Ackland gets the call and runs through the middle for another Ball State touchdown. The extra point being kicked by Mark O'Connell. The final score came at the beginning of the final quarter as Mark O'Connell kicks another field goal and Ball State wins 27-0 over the Chippewas of Central Michigan.
Every game I saw Central Michigan play in before us and after us, they played a darn good game. But against us, they just couldn't get anything going. I don't know if we psyched them out. I can't see why, because they're a good team.
We wanted it more than they did. We went up there with the feeling that they were a good ball club, and we were a good ball club. On an even day, we would win the game if we were fired up. We thought we had more talent, and if we went in there sky high and played to our best ability, we'd win the game.
Well, the Central Michigan game is always a big game. They don't like Ball State at all. They always have to come down here and play us, and finally we had to go up there and play them, and they were all prepared. They thought they were prepared.
Our game plan was to keep their quarterback in check. They have a very good quarterback and a good running back, and we felt if we could keep him on his back, the quarterback, by sacking him, and keep their star running back under 100 yards, we'd win the football game.
With Dave Wilson ailing late in the season, Mark O'Connell was forced into action against one of the year's toughest opponents, the Falcons of Bowling Green. Ball State got the first break when early in the first quarter, John D. Hoke blocked this Bowling Green punt and Gerhardt recovered deep in Bowling Green territory. 2 plays later, quarterback Mark O'Connell optioned right and went in for the first Ball State touchdown. Rick Morrison kicked the PAT, and the Cardinals led 7-0. Later in the quarter, Ball State once again on the move. This time O'Connell's pass is complete to Clary for 10 yards. 4 plays later, Lenny Werner took the handoff up the middle and barreled his way into the end zone. This time Morrison missed the extra point, and Ball State led 13-0. As the Ball State offense was moving well down the field, the Cardinal Crush was doing its best to stop the Falcons' drives. Its next possession, O'Connell throws this pass to Clary, who laterals to Archie Curran, who runs for a 23-yard gain. The scoring comes from Lenny Werner again as he goes off tackle and in for the score. The PAT is no good as O'Connell attempts to pass to Werner in the end zone, and the Ball State lead 19-0. In the second quarter, Mark O'Connell shows his prowess as a passer with a 19-yard throw to Rick Morrison. And this 35-yard pass to Tim Clary. Archie Curran adds on some fancy footwork for 33 big yards. And Gary Ackland takes it in for the score. Morrison's kick is good, and at the end of the first half, Ball State leads 26-0. As the second half opened, Bowling Green mounted an attack beginning with this blocked punt. 2 plays later, the Falcon quarterback found his receiver in the end zone and scored. Spangler made the extra point, and Bowling Green was finally on the scoreboard. Ball State came back late in the third quarter to score again as Archie Curran receives a pass from Mark O'Connell for 13 yards. Lenny Werner then dives up the middle for another 8-yard pickup. And O'Connell follows superb blocking from the offensive line for the score. Morrison missed his second PAT of the game, and the Ball State lead 32-7 over Bowling Green. Ball State managed to sustain one more drive as early in the fourth quarter, Kenny Curran gains 8 yards on the left side. Mark Barnholt follows up the middle, power 12 yards. Then goes off right tackle for his touchdown. Morrison kicks the extra point, and Ball State leads 39-7. The Falcons start another scoring drive with a 15-yard pass from Indris to Panzik. And a 10-yard pass to Baker. Indris throws again to Panzik for the touchdown. But it was too little, too late. And as the clock runs out, the score ends. Ball State Cardinals 39, Bowling Green Falcons 14.
I remember knocking a guy out in the third quarter. That's what I remember most about the Bowling Green game. They had a good football team, and they were a little bit too cocky for the game. They said that they could beat us, and I said some other remarks that weren't very nice. We went out there pretty fired up.
I was really prepared for that game. I went over with the team. I traveled with the team as a freshman. We played them over there, and we beat them. But they still didn't think that Ball State was worth a darn. I don't know why. They wouldn't think that we could compete in the MAC.
When we went into the game, I believe they were like fifth in scoring offense, and we were first in scoring defense. So that was going to pit two of the nation's top teams, scoring versus defense, in a game to show who was best. And I think we came out pretty much on top.
We as a secondary, we wanted to stop growth because we'd heard some things that he had said in the paper. We read some things. He said that he couldn't be stopped, and Ball State didn't deserve to play in the MAC. They weren't good enough. So we kind of had it out for him. I think we stopped him pretty well. I know I got a good hit on him, and that's one thing I wanted to do.
I just wanted to make sure that every time I did get a chance to tackle him, and it wasn't very often because he is an excellent back, that I punished him a little extra so he had a little less incentive getting up next time. And I think the rest of the team felt the same way, and that's why there was a lot of gang tackling, and that discourages a runner pretty quick.
Did you discourage him?
I think so. He only gained 46 yards a game.
It's been said before that conference championships are won with the defense and big games with the offense. We were fortunate this year to have balance on both sides, and certainly a slow start by the offense was picked up by the defense, and then we were able to come along totally as a football team to pull it out both offensively and defensively toward the end. So, well, I think there's not much question that our TNT, our defensive tackles and nose guard, had to be the strength of the defense. Kenny Kremer and Rush Brown were very key to our overall defensive play, as was Bill Stahl in the secondary. So those would have to be the key players, I feel, of the defense. It's hard really to pinpoint one particular great game for that defense because they played very consistently, and we were most pleased with not only our consistent play in games, but also our consistent practice efforts. We felt that truly was the key to our defense, that we were able to work consistently, play good balanced defense, and really unify our efforts. So we felt overall that the defense just got stronger each week. I think the players learned to express the defense a little bit better as we went along week to week, and certainly that was very gratifying to the coaching staff and really the reason we were able to succeed on the way to the conference championship. Our offense this year posed a little bit of a problem early because we knew we did not have much experience in the offensive line. A lot of people say that a game is won in the pits, and that was the area that we had to really go to work on. So we felt that early we were going to have to be basically a fundamental football team and certainly have to rely a little bit on the big play. We were fortunate in that early in the season when we faced strong opponents, we were able to come up with key plays on the part of our skilled positions. During the middle of the season, we were able to bring our offensive line along and fundamentally develop them in areas that we had been weak early in the year. Toward the end of the season, I felt that we were a very sound football team offensively and really capable of attacking an opponent in a various number of ways. We did end up setting a record for Ball State University in number of rushing attempts, even though we had a very strong commitment to the pass. So I felt that this was a real tribute to that offensive line and the job that they were able to do in improving throughout the season. Also, we did gain over 4,000 yards for the year, and that ranked us up in the top 25% of the major college football teams. 1978 was a transitional year for both the players and the staff. The hiring of a new staff, getting them adjusted to Ball State University, and then establishing that good, strong player-coach relationship that is so key to championship football. We felt the players adjusted very well and accepted many changes throughout the system. We had outstanding senior leadership and certainly the great team concept of total team unity that is so very key. We faced a very strong schedule in 1978 with 4 straight conference games, 3 non-league games, and then right back to finish with 4 strong conference games at the end of the season. It was imperative that we start fast and finish strong. And of course, in this league, we're always concerned about injuries, and I'd have to say that we were very fortunate in this area, but also give tribute to our off-season program and the job the players did in coming back in great condition. We will miss this senior class because they gave us the leadership I talked about, but also the fact that they were just great year-round workers and fine players in the program, outstanding students within the university. They're going to leave some big holes for us to fill, but we look now to our younger players in hopes that they can come on through the winter and the spring and then give us the same type of play in the fall that we've become accustomed to at Ball State University.